Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So we finished up with our Livewire component and our Blade component in the previous episodes, right? And we can be able to paginate with the load more button right here. But now there's an issue that you might be running into. Now let's say you have only 10 posts. Let's click more and we load some more. Now I think we have finished the loading and we will get to a white page right here. Now this is not an issue. It looked like an issue, but it's not an issue. It's something we can easily fix. And I wanted to leave it in there for you guys, maybe to see if you can solve it yourself. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing in this episode. Now, let's say you have only 20 posts. You don't want this button to show. I will quickly show you how to fix that. And another thing that I also want to show you is if you see the database and you want to create a unique slug from the timestamp, I want to show you a fix for that as well. So that's what this channel is all about learning. Hopefully you guys make enough mistakes so that you can learn from them, because I promise you, you're going to run into some of those same things in the future. All right, so let's quickly fix this and hopefully you'll learn something new. Let's get started. All right, so this is our Livewire component called latest post. All right, so what we do is we increment. So this is an increment operator right here. So we increment this, our post pagination with a count, whatever the load more button is clicked. All right, so let's quickly go to the view right here. Now there's a couple of things we can do, but this is my option, so I'm only going to show you this one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to basically check if the post has more pages. Right, meaning like if you have page 1, page 2, page 3, or page 4 in pagination, I want to see if there is any more pages. If there are more pages, we want to load this button. If there's no more pages, we want to show something else. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an if statement. So if the posts, remember we're passing the post variable right here, this one right here, we receive it in this Livewire component. We're going to check has more pages. All right, now you might be wondering, where do I get this? I will quickly show you. So just do it end if. Okay, so let's do that. So let's quickly show you where that is. Right, we're going to go to vendor. Let's go for the Laravel framework, source, and contracts. Under contracts, I think pagination must be a pagination right here. And you go to the paginator, this one right here. Okay, so as you can see, we got the has more pages right here. Right, so determine if there are more items in the data store, like that. Okay, so what this does is, let me just show you how to get there quickly again. Under the vendor folder, you go to framework. I think Laravel first, Laravel. Then you go to framework. Under framework, you go to source illuminate. Under there, you're going to look for contracts. Under contracts, the pagination. And you go to the paginator, this one right here. So you can obviously see all the different methods that's available for you right here. Now, the one that I want to check if there's more pages. Okay, so if there's none, please don't load anything else. All right, basically change the button to be something else. All right, so what we're going to do, if there's more pages, we're going to say load more. Else, all right, so let's add an else statement. I just want to create. Let's do it like this. Move it inside the div. Otherwise, I'm going to create another div like that. All right. So just keep the same div. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create just an H2. Let's do an H2. No. And we can say no more posts. No more posts. Okay. We can obviously style it a bit. Let me just quickly style it. Like that. All right, so that's kind of the styling we're going to go for. So if there is more pages in that post, we want to load more. If there's none, we're going to just show this. Otherwise, you're going to keep on loading, but there is no more post to load. All right, so I kind of wanted to leave that in for you guys so that we can learn something new. All right, so let's see if this works. All right, so currently we have 4 posts loaded. So that's the default. That's good. So let's quickly load 4 more. Right, so that's good. So we get 4 more. Let's load another 4. Okay, that's all good. And as you can see, no more posts. So we cannot click the button in order to get an error where the text basically goes white. Good. this doesn't look very nice. I'm just going to give it some padding, but don't worry about that. All right, so I just give it some padding. All good. Now, what I want to do now is I kind of just add a wire loading state. So let's quickly do that. I'm just going to add a div. All right, let me just do this. So I'm not going to do any classes in there. So let me just, I can remove that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a wire loading state. All right. So if we load the page, okay, let me just move this up there. You can add a spinner. You can do anything you want in here. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the 3 dots and I'm going to add it in here. Okay. So if we click the button while it's loading the data, it needs to wire loading, just to kind of give an indication to the customer something is happening, or to the viewer or whoever. You just want to kind of give them a better user experience to say, like, listen, something is happening with your button. All right. So as you can see, we got the load more. So if they click while that is busy loading, it will just add the 3 dots like this. Okay. So let's see if that works. Right, so we got this all done. So if we click the load more, as you can see, it adds the 3 dots, giving the customer or the viewer a better user experience to say, like, hey, listen, something is happening. All right, so as you can see, if we click again, it loads it. Once it finishes load, it goes on to the next. As you can see, no more post. All right, so it's all good. So we got this part done so we don't get that error. Let me show you the other thing that you guys can do as well. So you can obviously add a spinner or whatever you want in there. I just wanted to make it simple so I don't keep the videos too long. It's totally up to you. All right, so we're done with this part. The next thing I want to show you guys, just to maybe if you want to learn something new, let's go to our post factory. All right, so in here, what I want to do, I want to create this unique slug, but not like this. I wanted to create it from the title. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a title in here. Okay, I'm going to set that to this fake it sentence. All right, like that. Okay, so let me just put it like this. Then I'm going to change this to be the title, like this. All right, so the title will be this one right there. Okay, then we want to create a unique slug, so string slug. All right, we want to create that from the title, and then we want to concatenate a hyphen. Okay, like this with the current timestamp. So now, okay, timestamp like this. Now I want to just post this to you guys. Okay. The thing is now, if you're using this, what it will do, it will create a timestamp of the current time, not in seconds, not in anything else. So if you run the migration fresh, just remember mine does it in milliseconds. All right. So every post will basically look like they have the basically the same timestamp. All right. So if you don't want that to happen, you can actually get a better precision. So you can actually say get precision timestamp like that. All right. And then we can set, let me just show you where I get this actually from. All right. So we can get a precision timestamp that is from the trades and it's from the carbon instance. So basically under Nestbot. All right. Then you go to carbon, source, carbon, and under trades, you will see under timestamp, you can see you can get precision timestamp. Now, there's a couple of ones. For me, since when I migrate and seed my database, I need it to be done in milliseconds. So as you can see, one of the 100-second precision, 1 out of a 10th, a second precision. All right. So as you can see right there, micro maximum precision. All right, so obviously the timestamps increase. Now, the thing is for me, since I want it to be unique and I need to be in milliseconds, I'm going to use, let's say the 3 or the 4. Let me use the 4, just to kind of give it a more precision in terms of seconds. Okay, so let's quickly go there. So get precision timestamp. I think I need to spell that correctly. Get precise timestamp. Okay, that's the one. Okay, just put it in here. All right, so if we put it, if you come here, if we put it as a 0, it will get it more or less the same as just the default timestamp. Right, so if we put it to 3 or 4, in my case, let me just make it 4, it will create a unique timestamp of the current time, but just in milliseconds, precise. Okay, so that's what we can do right there. Now, the reason for that is if you use just a timestamp, you will see all your timestamps are the same. And if you don't want that to happen, because remember, the timestamp currently, it will just use, let's say your time is 10 o'clock, it will just use 10 o'clock as the time and not in terms of the seconds. All right, like that. Okay, so if you want to make a very unique slug, just add it like this. But remember, when I'm using the observer, let's go there to app observers, tag observer. This one right, let the post observer. When I use the timestamp like this, because there's 4 authors, the likelihood of some of them actually at the same time creating the same slug of a timestamp, that's going to be a little bit, that must be a real by chance. So that's why I'm using it here like this, okay, and not in the post factory. In the post factory, I just need it to be, if you want a very unique slug, just to get the precise timestamp, because you're going to create like 100 posts, 10 posts in a couple of milliseconds. All right, so that's it. Right, now another thing that I just want to mention, if you seed your database like this, just remember you've got observers running. They're going to look for whenever a post is created, and you will run into a memory issue. All right, now in order to not do that, you're going to go to your providers. Let's go to providers, event service provider, and just make sure you comment them out like this. Right, so whenever you seed the database, just remove this. Otherwise, you're going to run into a loop. When a post is created, it's going to create a unique slug, and then you will run into memory issues. Just uncomment this. So after you finish that, you can comment them back like that. Okay, like this. Okay, so just wanted to mention that for anybody. All right, so if you run into any issues, this is a solution for if you want to really create a unique timestamp. And the other way is if you're running into memory issues, just remember the observer is listening to, even though the post is created from the factory or anything like that, it's still listening for that. Okay, so just make sure you uncomment in your providers class that under event service provider, just comment them out so they don't interfere. Right, so that's it. Let's quickly migrate our database and seed them with the factory right here. Right, so I'm going to do a fresh one. As you can see, it runs, drops the tables, creates it, all good. Now, as you can see, all of this is done in milliseconds. So if it was waiting 1 second, you will kind of have posts with a similar timestamp. Okay, so that way you can just create unique timestamps for yourself. All right, thank you guys, and I really appreciate the positive feedback and all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys for liking the videos and things like that. Really, really appreciate it. And with that said, like the video, comment, feedback, suggestions, please leave it for me in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.